Welcome ENVR students, it's Dr. Caviglia-Harris here with a couple of questions and answers that I think should help you prepare for your next quiz. The first question is, what are substitutes and complementary goods? This is something that we've been talking about in class. I will give you some more detail on it right now. And the second question then is, what happens when the price of one of these goods goes up? So let's take a look at first defining substitutes and complements. Substitute goods are goods that are purchased in place of one another. Examples of these could be a pen and a pencil, two different name brand goods like, say, Coke and Pepsi, or two goods that are consumed in place of one another, say, like two fruits, maybe apples and oranges. Complementary goods, on the other hand, are goods that are generally purchased together. So examples of this, if you're still thinking about food, could be salsa and chips. And something like gasoline and cars. Which are not purchased at all times together, but you do need to have a car to purchase gasoline. They're purchased together in that way. Okay, so the second question is, what happens to the demand for one good when the price of a substitute goes up? So this is something similar to conversations I've had in class that you don't want to memorize. You don't want to know whether the demand's going to increase or decrease off the top of your head, because you can easily make a mistake if memorizing things like that. Think it through, and the easiest way to answer this is to add in two different substitute goods to help you out with the thought process. So let's take a look at the first example that we had with pens and pencils. And let's take a look at what happens to the demand for pencils when the price of pens goes up. Okay, so we can start with the graph for pens. Okay, and what it says here is that the price of pens has gone up. So that means that the quantity demanded of pens is going to change. We can start at a point like P1 and Q1 and take a look at what happens if we were to increase the price to a higher level, say P2. This means quantity would go down. Okay, so Q falls from Q1 to Q2. This means we're buying less pens. And because we substitute pencils for pens, this means if we're buying less pens, we're buying more pencils at price. So that means that we see an increase in demand in the pencil market. Okay, so in the next video, I'll take this one step further and explain how it is that when demand changes, that we have an increase or a decrease in the market equilibrium price and quantity. That will be the next video. For now, note that this is not a full market. We have demand, we don't have supply. That'll be the next step, is adding supply so that we have the complete market where consumers and producers come together and determine the equilibrium price and quantity. I will see you then.